Hey everyone, I wanted to make this video to talk about my experience with melatonin. In the UK you can't actually buy it over the counter, you can get it via international delivery. So it's a little bit tricky to get a hold of. You can buy like the precursor like tryptophan. So I've got a few here, and essentially what happened during lockdown, I wanted to experiment with like different supplements. It's what I like to do more than anything. But I was struggling a little bit to sleep. And I think this is just due to the fact that I weren't working as much, I weren't as busy, weren't as active. And I didn't really have anything to get up for, so I'd stay awake a lot later than I normally would. And I think this is pretty common. So I did start with like tryptophan and this one here. So tryptophan is the precursor to it all, really. And then it converts into 5-HTP, and then that converts into serotonin, and then obviously serotonin into melatonin. And to tell you the truth, I didn't really notice that much of a difference with those. I didn't take them long enough, probably, to see a difference, maybe a couple of weeks. But I feel like I had a little bit of an adverse effect with the tryptophan. Maybe just the dosage was a bit too high. I'll just have another quick look. I think it was 400. Oops, wrong one. 500 milligrams. And I did notice like some muscle spasms, things like that. So a bit of an adverse effect. So I stopped taking this one pretty quickly. This one here has been used for stopping hunger pangs rather, and I did notice that I felt a bit of a fullness in my stomach. So if you are looking for something that's going to essentially help with your appetite, to lower your appetite, so the decision to take melatonin directly, pretty much to find out if it did work as effectively as what I was reading online. It is a hormone, and it's produced by the body, and it helps you sleep. So during the day, obviously you receive a lot of blue light, which lowers your melatonin, and then over time, as the sun goes down and it gets darker, your melatonin rises, and then that obviously helps you sleep. And what I did notice with taking melatonin, I'm just going to show you the two that I have been taking. I started out with a 5 milligram, which is actually quite high. Some suggest taking 1 to 3 milligrams. Anything around 5 is considered high. And then there's obviously 10 as well. And it's Puritan's Pride. This is the one that I got my hands on. And I started, like I said, with this one first. And I was taking one a night. And within roughly 30 minutes, I noticed that I was feeling tired. I did notice that my hands and my feet got warmer. And this is due to the effect of melatonin. So what happens is your body cools, and that helps you sleep, and you lose heat distally via your hands and feet, and that's how you cool down. And honestly, I slept pretty well. When I first started to take it, I did notice that I was getting quite vivid dreams, a little bit surreal, and some nightmares as well have been reported from taking melatonin. But I did sleep quite well, and over time, I'd say after about 2 weeks of taking it, I felt significantly better. I noticed that if I took it too late in the evening, like I wanted to sleep at 10:30, 11, and I took it around that time, I'd wake up feeling a bit groggy. Likewise, I took 2 of these, so that's 10 milligrams, and I was taking that just before I went to bed, and I'd wake up feeling groggy. But as I've got back to work, and I've been working pretty much most of the day, I felt relatively well rested. So it's not really been a problem whilst I've been at work. I think more than anything, when I was not working and I didn't really have to get up for anything, it did somewhat make me feel a little bit groggy when it was taken in higher amounts. The reason why I switched over to 10 milligrams was because I wanted to see if this dosage would affect me differently if I was to take it during the day. Of course, I could just take 2 of those tablets, but I was actually running out, nearly run out now. And this amount is probably the highest that you can buy in capsule form. I've read quite a few studies on taking 3, 5, 10 milligrams, 40 milligrams. And essentially, if you take over 5 milligrams, if you were to take it in the morning, for instance, it actually suppresses your temperature slightly, ever so slightly, not by much, but it actually stops the rising temperature throughout the day, so you can feel a little bit cold. It doesn't really affect younger people or middle-aged people, but as you get older, you do struggle to produce heat. So if you are older, it's not something that realistically I would recommend. And also there is the aspect of taking melatonin. It can change your circadian rhythm, so it can actually reset it, or it can start just altering it throughout the day, so it can create problems with sleep. It is sold primarily as something, if you're a shift worker, you're jet lagged, just take one of these and you'll be fine. And more than anything, it is advertised to be taken just as and when, not for prolonged periods of time. So I am probably going to come to the end, once I've gone through these, to the end of my experiment. So I have taken this one in the morning to see the effect on my body temperature, as well as to see the effect how I sleep. And I've noticed that if I take this in the morning, I actually feel relatively decent. It is an antioxidant, so it is beneficial. But there are some interesting facts about melatonin. For instance, it is an anti-aging agent, which is pretty cool. Some research in that it's got anti-cancer properties. So there is numerous benefits. Although I am not suggesting that you take this on a regular basis. I'm just giving you my experience and what I've felt over the past 2 months taking melatonin. I think what's interesting about this hormone is that it does actually work. There's a lot that really don't work. My fiance has been taking one occasionally, and she says that she does fall asleep pretty much as soon as she's taken it. She sleeps pretty well. So it's not just my anecdotal story and experience, but it's someone else's. And obviously there's significant research in taking melatonin. So yeah, that's pretty much my experience on taking melatonin. It helps you sleep. It can help you feel well rested, but if you take it too far during the evening and just before you're about to go to bed, it can make you feel groggy in the morning, which is not really what you want. The whole point of sleeping is so that you feel rested. But overall, I think it's a worthwhile supplement. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can't really purchase it over the counter in the UK, which is unfortunate, but I understand why, because there are some adverse effects like grogginess, like sleep inertia it's called. There's also the fact that you don't want to mess with your circadian rhythm. It is a hormone at the end of the day. But if you do struggle to sleep, it is an option. You've got tryptophan that you could take. You could increase your serotonin through different methods, through eating better, through exercise. There is actually melatonin, just before I end this video, there is melatonin in food. I was always under the assumption that once you eat, you feel tired due to, obviously, digestion, taking the carbs, etc. But actually, it can be as well resulted from the food having melatonin. So I found that very, very, very interesting. So I did find that quite interesting. Very much for watching this video. If you do have any questions about melatonin, if you'd like to start using melatonin, you can ask me directly. Personally, I quite appreciate the benefits of melatonin. I'm not going to be taking it for the rest of my life though, as there aren't really that many studies on long-term use. But overall, my short-term experience has been very good, and I'd just like to say thank you for watching this video, and take care.